Hello everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I'm using my split cup. So you might have seen it before. It's got my little slogan on, let's see what we can create. And my split cup has 4 different segments. So I'm going to put a different colour in each segment. I'm using a brown, I'm using a metallic black. I've not used the metallic black before, so that's going to be really interesting. I've got a warm grey, mixed all my paints up already. I'll take you in so you can see the colours. And I've also got a blue. But I also want to layer some gold and some silver in the cup. So the idea is to put some silver and gold at the bottom in each segment. Place the colours on top, so one segment's got the brown in, one's got the warm grey, one's got the metallic black, and one's got the blue. And then over the top, I'm going to put the silver and grey again. So remember, whatever goes in first is last to come out in your cup. So I'm going to layer the paints, as I've just said. I'm going to swirl it around, but I want to kind of start from the centre and swirl it around in like a figure of 8 or some circles. I haven't decided yet. Let's see how we go. And then I'll stretch the creation out, opening up the pattern and opening up the lines. So first of all, let me take you in now so you can see the colours of the paints, the brands that I use, plus the consistencies. So I'm really excited for this as always, and let's see what we can create. So here we go. Here are the colours that I'm going to use. They're all by Amsterdam, and I've also got my light gold and my silver by Amsterdam. But these are the tubes of the colours that I'm going to use. So you can see I've got a metallic black. I haven't used that before, so that's going to be really interesting to see how that turns out. I've got the blue, I've got the brown, and then I've got what they call a warm grey. I will list all the colours, the exact names of the colours and the brands in my description box. But let's just have a little look at the consistencies. So you can see here, I've mixed up my paints already. Runs off the spatula, leaves a trace, and then disappears. Let's do it with this one, see if we can see that better. So, runs off the spatula, leaves a trace, and disappears. That's my cup that I'm using, so you can see I've got 4 different compartments. My paints are mixed. I'm using a 20 by 20 inch canvas. Let's go. So in my split cup, I've got a gold, silver already in the bottom. So I've got a gold in this first compartment and I'm placing the metallic black on top of that gold. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each colour in turn and then place each colour in a separate segment of this split cup. So I've got gold at the bottom and the metallic black on top of that gold. And then I've got silver in the bottom, and then I've got this warm grey that's going over the top of that silver. And that's in the second compartment that you can see there on the split cup. And then what I'm going to do is I've got gold in the bottom, and I'm placing the blue colour over the top of the gold. And then last but not least, I've got silver in the bottom of that end section, that 4th segment. And I'm going to place the brown, the Van Dyke brown, over the top of that. And then what I'll do is I'll then alternate what I put over the top of each of those colours. So at the bottom of that first section, we placed a gold. So at the top, I'm going to place a silver. And then the second section, we had silver at the bottom, and I'm going to place a gold on top, and vice versa, until we've got enough paint in our split cup to continue with the process. Okay, so the paint in the cup is fully loaded up, and I'm going to start in the middle. But what I really want to do is I want to create some really interesting patterns and lines. So instead of just doing a ring pour, I'm going to do a ring pour, but I'm going to move it around the canvas in a circular motion. So as you can see, as I'm tilting the paint out of the cup, so it goes from the cup to the canvas, I'm just going round and round in a circular motion and tipping the paint as I go. And you can see that it's creating some really interesting swirls. Gonna keep going, and you can see how all those different colours are starting to release from the cup and go onto the canvas. And it's really about creating some pattern, some design. And I'm going to swirl all of that paint out in a circular motion until all that paint has been released from that cup. Okay, so you can see here all those circles within that pattern, and it's now going to be about stretching out and seeing how that pattern really opens up. I'm going to use my torch because I've mixed all my colours myself with the pouring medium, so that means that there's some air within that paint, and that torch just helps pop most of those air bubbles that have been created. So it's now about really opening up this pattern, opening up that design by swirling that paint that's on the canvas and opening up that canvas, opening up that paint, swirling it around and stretching the paint so it covers the full surface area of that canvas. So as I open up the pattern, I think that I'd really like to add some more detail, and I'd really like to use a different technique as well. So what I've decided is I'm going to use my swipe technique, but I'm just going to use the blue. So I'm going to place some more blue paint over this area because I feel like this area is a bit boring. There is a block of colour there that I'm not too keen on because as I stretch it out, whatever's in the middle of that canvas is just going to open up even further. So I'm just going to place some blue paint over the top. I'm going to do 4 different lines, just using that same colour. And then I'm going to use a cell activator. The cell activator that I'm using today is Titanium White by Amsterdam mixed with Australian Floetrol. So I use 1 part paint and 4 parts Australian Floetrol mixed together as my cell activator. And as you can see, I'm just spreading that cell activator across those blues that I've layered and then just over the rest of that design. And that cell activator is going to react with the paint and create lacing and cells. And you can see here how that's already taking shape. I'm much more happy with the pattern and I'm much more happy with the detail that that swipe has added to this overall creation. So now it's about filling that surface area with the volume of paint that we've got, pushing that paint from side to side, down the edges, bringing it back on itself, and then looking at that overall composition. I really want to open up the blue section, the river that's running through that centre of this piece. So it's about tilting from side to side, really looking at how that paint covers that surface area, and then looking at that overall composition, tilting more of the paint from one side to another and opening up the patterns that have been created by the swirling action of the split cup and the swipe of that cell activator. Don't forget, I list lots of information in the description box of each of my video tutorials. I list all my brands of paint, the names that I'm using, the colours that I'm using, and more importantly, I also list all the ratios and consistencies that work for me depending on what technique that I'm using today. So check out that description box because there's lots of information in there for you to use. So this now really is about just tweaking that final creation, moving the paint so it goes across that full surface area. I'm just adding a little bit more paint in this corner. I don't want to distort this kind of pattern that I've created too much more. So I'm just adding a little bit of paint in that corner so it acts as a flow extender. It acts as a river of paint so that paint can be helped to move in that area without distorting that pattern too much. So I'm just going to tilt the rest of the paint off, bring it back on itself, clean up my edges, and I'll take you in for a closer look because I really love how we've created a depth to this piece. And I just really love how that colour palette, those 4 colours have worked really well together. I'll show you all the details shortly, but let me just finish off tweaking this piece, tweaking the composition, and moving it into an area that I'm more happy with. So here we go, this is the wet version, the final version. I'll take you in now for a closer look at all those colours, all those shapes that have been created, all that detail. I just love this colour palette, how those browns have really worked well with that lighter grey and that blue. It's like a blue river throughout the middle of this. In fact, I'm a little bit stuck on what to call this one. I don't always name my paintings, but I do love to hear what you think. So if you've got a name that you think I should call this painting, then please drop it in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you're enjoying this video, please also give it a thumbs up and a like. So here's the dry version. It's not yet varnished. I do apply a gloss varnish. I use a spray varnish by Winsor & Newton, and I use that for all of my pieces. So I will varnish this piece, and it's going to help that kind of gold colour pop through as well. So I'll show you on my Instagram and my Facebook and my YouTube what each of these designs look like once they've been varnished. I'll make sure I post a picture in the future. But a big thank you to each and every one of you for your support week on week. It's great that you're here with me watching along, and I love the feedback that you provide in terms of what you're up to as well. I hope you have a great week ahead, and I hope I get to see you again in the next video. Take care everyone, and I'll see you soon. Bye.